Welcome back to Grind Force Gaming, everyone. Nova here, and today's Street Fighter Duel video is going to be all about Shadaloo City, and specifically we're talking about Floor 3. We've had some requests come in recently to do a video about this. People are struggling with the harder difficulty. You do have two options here. Upon beating Floor 2, you can take just the standard route, or you can go into the Golden Portal, which is going to give you higher rewards, but it is going to come with a higher level of difficulty. Specifically, people are wondering about Kitty Katastrophe and the Akuma battle as well. So we're going to show you here how I went through that. We can take a look at my boost here. Feel free to pause it, and then you can go through and kind of analyze it and check into it. I focused a lot more on crit damage and also the energy fragments because those come with a lot of benefits, especially if you happen to stumble upon them as boosts early on in your experience with the Shadaloo City, because you are going to get damage reduction. The crit rate is honestly what I'm super interested in. 40% crit rate is amazing, especially when you're running a situation like this. And if you guys saw my recent video that I put up about my tier list, you'll see I'm using Street Poison here already, and she's just A. Like, I haven't even done any upgrades with her whatsoever tier level wise, and the reason being is that her first skill is increasing crit damage, and it stacks. And that is just incredible. I've seen a lot of success using her. You don't even need to level her up, honestly. If you get one A-level card of her, you pull her once from one of your draws, you're good. You don't need to worry about building her up that much. Focus your fodder on other people. If you happen to get another one and then you can eventually get her up to SS, that's going to be very helpful because her fighting spirit is awesome as well. You have potential to get another stack, and you also get speed up from it. So that's pretty amazing, and I would definitely recommend looking into that in the long run. But for now, you can get a lot of benefit from her simply by using her as A. And that's just how it is. Her skill is so good that the tier grade for her has no effect or bearing on what the skill can perform. So you can just get one and absolutely start tanking. The nuking ability with her is really where I found my interest. I tested it out, and it worked extremely well. Definitely check out my tier list video. I'll put a card up here at the top for you guys. You can check that out. I talk about all of the fighters as well as the new releases, and I've even got some gameplay that shows a little bit more Street Poison, just action. Basically, I do some Supreme Fist in there as well as Shadowlands, so definitely worth checking that one out. We are just pushing through here right now. I tried to clip this down as best as I could, just to make it quick for you guys. We're almost to the cat. I think these other fights are just kind of, whatever. You can nuke them pretty well as long as you have the right things built up. Like I said, focus on crit, focus on getting healing, whether it's increased healing percentage or the heal over time. If you do happen to get execute, it's one of the S boosts that you can get. That is a 100% grab. That is going to make the boss battles easier for you, especially Kitty Katastrophe and Akuma, as well as just the Bison statues. It'll be way easier to just nuke everyone, especially when they get to 15% health and execute kicks in. Speeds things up a lot for sure. So this fight specifically, I threw Cammy in just to get some single target damage. The issue with this fight is if you're not dealing enough damage to nuke before the AoE comes in, which comes in right now, you're going to end up losing a fighter, which I did. If you have battle crystals, I think you can bring them back, but those are limited. You don't have a ton of them. You can get fighters back with the recover as well. You do have the ability to get one back right before the Bison statue. So if you do lose one, it's okay. But if you lose one and you're quick enough, you can back out and it'll reset, and then you can just retry it again without losing a fighter. So this time I just redid the fight and I took out Street Poison because I just needed some heal and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to lose any of my fighters in this. So I swapped in Elena, still kept Cammy in. She's just SS. Nothing really crazy going on with her gear wise, but it's the armor break stacking that she has, and that makes my Chun-Li even stronger. So it's kind of more in line with how my current lineup is set to use Cammy in that sense. But here you can see I just want to use Street Poison because she is so good. I'm already like, I don't even need anybody else to deal any damage. Let's just have Chun-Li deal damage. We'll take the damage from Bison's passive, and we'll just let the buffing happen from Street Poison, and then we'll do the additional buff. You can see here I have Elena in the second slot because I'm getting a defense boost, which is definitely helpful, and then you're getting a speed up too. So the faster I can cycle through Chun-Li's skills, the better. The thing with Akuma you have to be careful of is that uppercut. If he catches the wrong fighter, he's going to nuke it. There is the potential to dodge. There is the potential that healing could come through, or maybe a defense buff might come in and he might not deal that much damage. But ultimately, that's one thing that you need to watch out for, and he does that at a certain time interval every single time. So you can just watch for it and then make sure that you back out if you need to. So here you'll see I go back in again, and this time I took out Street Poison and I brought in Dulcim and Elena just to get some heal. And unfortunately, his uppercut comes in here at 70 seconds and it hits Elena and absolutely nukes her. So I backed out again. And you can do this as many times as you want. It's a pretty cool feature of this. And if you didn't know that, definitely take the opportunity to slow down your fights a little bit. They don't have to be in 4x, put it in 2x or whatever. And that way you can make sure that you're going to back out and you can save your lineup and you don't have to worry about someone getting nuked by one of the enemies. Definitely helpful for the boss fights as well. So here he comes in with his uppercut. I don't know if I dodged it or if it just didn't deal enough damage due to shields and healing coming up at the exact same time, but I got away with that one pretty easily. And now I'm able to just move on to the Bison fight. So when I lost Elena before, not a big deal. I could have just let her fall and then I could have recovered her here. But I kind of like to just back out and retry it because I'm always curious about how the RNG is. And that way I can have a better idea of how the matchups function, because sometimes you just lose someone just because you do. And you can run that same matchup again immediately afterward and it doesn't happen that way. So I typically do just back out, but it's up to you. If you're cool losing them and recovering them, that's fine. You don't have to back out like I do, but that's how I choose to do it. And here you can see this was just not difficult at all. The damage that comes in from Chun-Li, on top of the armor breaking, she's doing damage. And then we have the 30% boost that's coming in from Street Poison. It's just a lot. So anyway, there it is. Very straightforward. Feel free to go back, pause it, check out my boosts. But if you guys are enjoying Street Fighter videos like this, definitely take a moment to subscribe, throw a like on the video, and stay tuned for the next ones.